This might actually be the creepiest story I've ever heard. Like, it made me feel violently ill when I heard this. It makes me feel sick thinking about it. Like, I just don't want to. So there's a woman and she lives with her boyfriend, but one day she's home alone and she gets a frantic knock on the door, and there's a woman equally as frantic saying, "My husband's in your house, you're not safe, you need to get out of the house." And this woman's like, "Love, I think you've got the wrong door. No one's in my house, it's just me." She ends up just shutting the door on this woman, being like, "No one here, love, don't worry about it." And this woman continues knocking on the door. She's knocking on the window, going around the house going, "Please, I don't know where he is, I don't know what he's capable of, you need to get out of the house." Naturally, when someone tells you this, you can be like, is there someone in my house? So she does like a sweep, and she looks in cupboards, under doors, usual places like behind the shower curtain where a murderer could potentially be hiding, I don't know. And she doesn't find anyone. And she goes to the door, and the woman's still there, and she's like, "There's no one in my house, I think you've got the wrong house, do you need me to call someone to come and pick you up?" And then this woman says, "You don't understand, he doesn't want you to find him." Says, he covers himself in lotion, right? He covers himself in lotion so you can't smell him, and he blends into his surroundings, and he can move his body in a way where he can fit into places where people shouldn't be fitting. So this girl's looking at this woman being like, "Okay, I'm going to call the police." And someone's like, "The police aren't going to do anything. I've called the police on him. I need to come in and show you where he is." And she's getting these red flags, being like, "I shouldn't let anyone in my house." She shuts the door and she calls her boyfriend, and she's like, "What do I do?" And he's like, "Call the police. Like, don't open the door to anyone. Don't let someone in the house. Call the police." She ignores him. For some reason, this woman just decides to sit down and carry on watching TV or whatever she was doing, I don't know. She carries on watching TV while this woman is like in a camping chair outside with a cigarette, like not joking, she's just waiting. Somehow she's focused on the TV, but she's paranoid and she's thinking, someone's watching me. And then she decides to follow every surface of her house to find anything out of shape. She goes up the cupboards, down, across tables, looks in corners, focusing on every detail. And when she gets to about a 20centimetre gap between her fridge and her wall, she notices something that looks like a finger bent out of place. I can't. She follows this bent looking finger, then she sees something that looks like an arm. She continues to look up, and then she sees a head. There is a man standing in a 20centimetre gap between her fridge and her wall in such an unnatural position that it looks like he's slightly bent forward. His hands and his arms are bent in place where he's kind of like squashed, but he's also leaning forward. And she just says, "Sir, you need to get out of my house." He's just looking straight forward, straight through her, no blinking, no twitching, nothing, just